Bitcoin is deceiving the short sellers. Hello everyone friends. Today we'll update the situation with Bitcoin and also go over the coins from the previous episode that you mentioned in the comments. Let's get started. Last time when I recorded the review, the price was at these levels. After that, we did see a move higher, but we didn't break the previous high and the price went into a correction. Yesterday we saw an upward reaction from the support level that we had marked. That level is 76,335. We took out the long liquidity that was sitting just above this high because people were entering shorts here and placing their stop losses quite close. This means it was more profitable to take them out, so there would be fuel for the price to move lower. As a result, we took them out, left a wick, and then moved lower. Right now we're seeing a very interesting situation. Let's take a look. Liquidity hasn't been taken from these lows. This means that long traders are entering and placing their stop losses quite close. When major players don't have enough Bitcoin in circulation, they need to make people sell their Bitcoins. And this can be done in one simple way. When these long traders are liquidated, their positions are automatically put up for sale by the exchange. So the long traders are selling off their positions here, and those who want to enter the market, like large institutional players or market makers, are buying up these orders, after which the price can actually move higher. This would actually be an excellent scenario before moving higher, because here we can clear out all this long liquidity, trigger their liquidations, and only after that reverse the trend. But let's take a much closer look at the liquidation heat map and see that despite all the accumulated long liquidity, there are currently many more shorts. For a very straightforward and simple reason, people see that we also have untouched highs, we have descending peaks, and they see in this a significant and potentially massive opportunity for a move higher. That's why they position their protective stop orders quite close. This is currently at the $78,500 price point and the $80,000 zone level. Let's pay attention to this area, and this will be the primary target for a significant upward movement. It's quite significant, and if you enter a long position, you definitely need to aim for this level. We actually have a resistance level right here. This is at the 79,125 mark, which will also be a good target if you decide to go long. Everything here remains relevant. We have support at the 73,400 mark and at 71,635. You can consider entering either with a limit order or after confirmation, which would be safer. But here, everyone decides for themselves which trading style they prefer. Our targets are clear. If we break through and consolidate above the 79,125 mark, then we can talk about moving higher towards 84,348. Because there is no volume here, and the price can move through this zone quite quickly. By the way, in the previous episode, you asked us to analyze a lot of coins, and our team of traders did just that in our Telegram channel, Solo Trade Team of Traders. You can check it out, the link will be in the description, and let's see what came out of it. The first coin was analyzed by Pavel. The coin is Hype, and he starts with the monthly time frame. According to his analysis, for now, we have a distinct and steady upward trend and resistance at the 45.21 mark. Consolidation above this specific level could potentially lead to a substantial and noteworthy price increase. But it's important to keep in mind that this is still the monthly time frame, so waiting for consolidation could take a very long time. After that, Pavel tells us that we have a support level at 38.21 to 35.55. He also highlighted them. Here they are, this is the zone, and he is considering a scenario of continued growth. For this to happen, we need to break through the 45.21 level and see some consolidation here. After that, we can expect a breakout and a move even higher. But Pasha didn't stop there, and now he switched to the daily time frame. And he says that the price has simply been squeezed. We can see how the range has narrowed significantly, and it's possible to consider a breakout in either direction. Next, Pasha emphasizes that there is a support zone at 40.82 to 309.73, and here you need to watch and observe for a possible fakeout, which they might do to collect liquidity. After that, we consolidate above the level of 309.73. We can also consider a potential move higher. That is, Pasha tells us that we can take out this long liquidity if we don't consolidate here, but if the candle closes above the level of 309.73, then it's quite likely that it was just a squeeze and we can consider a position higher. However, if we happen to consolidate below this level with a fairly solid candle, then we can look for a potential retest of this zone and move our trading positions further down to the next support levels. Also, Pasha not only analyzed but even closely tracked the performance of this coin. He showed it from different angles on other days as well. Here, he was already drawing his scenarios for how this position could play out on the daily time frame. And we can clearly see how Pasha was coming up with specific ideas on how to trade this situation. I believe this is incredibly valuable information, because very few people will ever share this level of detail with you. As we can see, Pasha continues to track it and also presents various ideas. But you can study it in more depth by joining our channel. So please join us, we'll be delighted to see you and to share with you the highly valuable information that can help ensure you do not miss out on any profits. Next up is the TRB coin. Another one of our traders, Taras, analyzed it. He says that the coin is quite far from the top. It's approximately in 355th place by liquidity. And coins like this often just give an impulse on the hype, after which they go into a decline and rarely show any rebounds. He specifically highlighted an area of interest for us. It starts at around $13, and it's definitely something we should keep a close eye on. After that, he writes that locally, after the pump, we established a corrective range, and on both the upper and lower sides we still have zones of inefficiency. So that is, we can assume that if the price is currently moving within a range, we can work from that as well. Also, we should look at and aim our positions towards the support and resistance levels. And here, he also shows various scenarios for trading this coin. Next, Taras sums up that overall, the situation is typical for such coins because there was an impulse, and now the market is not so much looking for growth as it is for liquidity, which will then form a new trend. So that's the useful review we got from Taras. He showed both the global and the local situation. I think this was quite useful. Now we know that we have a certain range, and from here we can consider both long and short positions. And right away we have the AXS coin. This one was analyzed by another one of our traders, Marina. So let's see what came out of that. First, she starts with the weekly time frame and notes that the price has approached a liquidity zone that was formed back in 2020. And from this area, the market has already shown us a strong reversal. As we can see, here is this zone. We came to it and showed a sharp impulse, after which a correction followed, during which the price returned to this same zone, and at the moment it is holding above it. This indicates that buyers are maintaining their strength. During the first correction, the market shows an impulse and a breakout upwards, taking out short liquidity around the 2.6 level. Let's take a look. This is exactly that level. We took out the liquidity that was sitting just above these highs. In other words, when people entered short positions, they placed their stop losses right here, after which the price pulled back to the 1.06 level. And now we are currently above this zone. At the moment, the asset is showing a bullish scenario because the price is above the break of structure to the upside and is holding above the long liquidity zone. And let's see where exactly the break occurred. It's right at this mark. As we can clearly observe here, there was a certain downward trending price structure, after which we finally successfully triggered and cleared the long trader's stop losses, and then broke above this resistance level, which completely broke the entire downward structure. And Marina is also showing us the anticipated market scenario. The first scenario is a corrective move into the range of $1.17 to $1, where you can consider entering a long position from this area with a tight stop loss, but ideally, of course, as we always prefer, with confirmation. After that, she considers the zone of 0.878 and the mark of 0.8. From here, you can also watch for a certain market reaction to these levels. After that, Marina highlights strong resistance levels. These are the marks at 2.601, 4.029, and 4.553. She also mentioned the $3 level, since it's a round number, and the price may also show a certain reaction there. Overall, I think the situation here is quite clear. Marina tried to explain the whole situation with this coin in great detail and showed us what's happening on the weekly, daily, and 4-hour time frames. I think this was extremely useful. And if you want more analyses, join us on our Telegram channel. There are even more analyses and useful information here. Well, I suggest we update the situation on Litecoin. So, last time it was sitting right in the resistance zone at 56.42. I specifically mentioned that a significant amount of long liquidity had accumulated just below these recent lows. If we see a squeeze, we can expect a move higher. And as we can see, that's exactly what the price did. We saw a liquidity grab, after which the price not only bounced, but even reached the level of 57.35. But unfortunately, we weren't able to consolidate above that level, and we went back into a correction. For now, the dynamic line is still holding. We've maintained it and haven't consolidated above it. This is actually a very strong and reliable signal not to consider shorts for now. But if we consolidate below the 54.80 price level zone, then the entire market situation changes quite a bit. Because we would be consolidating not just below this volume zone, but also below this dynamic line. And that in turn would indicate the strength of the sellers. So we need to pay very close attention to this. But as long as we stay above this point, this is an encouraging and positive indicator for potentially pushing higher toward the next resistance levels. They remain relevant. These are the marks at 56.42 and 57.35. But if we do continue to move higher, I would consider the next support levels. The first one is at 54.15. For a very straightforward and simple reason, we have quite large volumes here, and the price has come to this level on several different occasions, showing various reactions, both positive and negative price actions. Actually, the mark turned out to be 54.27. After that, I would highlight the next volume zone. This is the level of 53.54. As we can clearly observe right here, the price also came to this point and bounced off this level. For now, we will not be looking any further. But let's note that we also have a level where the price hasn't yet taken out the long liquidity, and this will be a certain target if the price moves lower, where you can potentially aim your short positions. Friends, thank you all for watching this video to the end. Write in the comments which coins you would like us to analyze in the next videos and in the Telegram channel. I think it will be very useful and interesting. Don't forget that it's not the smartest who win, but those who stick to the system.